That's your ASS, Mr. Shannon Harris. Today we're going to find out why your testimony was really an interrogation and how the prosecutor cleverly got you to believe that you were on their side while they would secretly investigate you and getting warrants for your arrest. Now, just like in the story Pinocchio, lying has a direct effect on the body. Look at Shannon before the disappearance of her niece and look at her afterwards. All the lying causes a lot of late waiting. We breaking the story right here on Projects and Caseríos. We break down the testimony of Shannon Harris like no one has done before and watch how they were able to uncover the truth and essentially get the warrants they needed to arrest Shannon Harris for the disappearance of her niece, Naziah. Now, before we begin today's story, let's look at the first lie that Shannon told in this wild story of Naziah Harris.
Raise your right hand.
Did you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Watch your step, please.
Now, where her lies begin and where they end, no one knows. But just like Pinocchio, you can see in these pictures that the more she lied, the smaller she got. Her nose didn't grow, but the more she lied, the smaller she got. But today, I'm going to chronicle her testimony and watch as I break it down section by section. You will see the prosecutor was setting her up for certain questions. I'm going to explain something to you about the law and how this prosecutor played Shannon into telling on herself. And they got her. Now, Shannon Harris never exercised her right to remain silent. Why? Because initially she didn't think she was being charged with this crime. So this is how the prosecutor tricked her onto the stand. She told her, "You're not being charged. You're a witness on our behalf." But all along, they were using her own words against her. She should have remained silent and never said anything because she essentially told on herself. You're going to watch as the prosecutor asked her questions in reverse, knowing the answers already and knew that if Shannon had to answer these in a certain manner or she was complicit in this act. And watch how Shannon fold on this stand. Watch how clever this prosecutor was. I'm going to break it down step by step so you can see why the prosecutor asked the questions and why she asked them in a certain way at a certain time, and watch Shannon answers as they contradict themselves. In this next clip, you're going to see what the prosecutor called the anatomy of a setup. They're going to ask Shannon two key questions that they already know the answer to, and she's going to answer them knowing, and the prosecutor knowing she's lying. The first question is, what is the relationship? What did you define the relationship between Jarvis and Naziah? And the second key question in this next clip is, have you ever seen text messages? Have you ever known Naziah to text Jarvis? She's going to answer first that their relationship was only uncle to auntie, and no, I have never known them to text each other. Only if I say text him on certain occasions. But the prosecutor already was armed with the information that you did know about the text messages, and you did define their relationship as already see what's going on, and I don't know what Naziah is on. Let's take a look.
Yes.
Do you know someone named Naziah Harris?
Yes.
What's your relationship to her?
My relationship to her, she is my niece. I'm her aunt.
Okay. And whose daughter is she?
My older sister is Kenyatta Harris.
Okay. And did you have any nicknames for Naziah?
Yes. We all called her Tudda.
And is that Tudda?
Yes.
All right. And did Naziah ever know Jarvis through you?
Yes.
Okay. And when did Naziah and Jarvis first meet?
When she was little, like age 2.
And can you kind of describe the relationship between Naziah and Jarvis?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
How often would Jarvis be around, like at your house with you?
He will call or say, can he come see the kids, or the kids will ask, can he see their dad? And he will come, pull up either to my house where I used to live or at my mother's house.
Would Naziah ever be around?
All the kids would be around.
To your knowledge, would Naziah ever text Jarvis?
From my knowledge, no, unless I will have her to text.
Okay. But to your knowledge, you didn't know of any kind of separate outside relationship?
No.
Would there ever be times where, where did you know Jarvis Butts to work?
Pardon?
Where did you know Jarvis Butts to work?
Where did I know him to work at?
Yes.
He worked at 2 different locations. The first location would be on East Warren, and the other location would be on Grashford and Connor.
And what were those locations?
Those are the auto repair shop.
Okay. Would you ever know Desire to help Jarvis Butts at his shop?
Yes, he will call me and say, hey, if I can get our daughter and Messiah to come and work up at the shop. And I would say, let me ask my mom first regarding Messiah.
Okay. And
Oh, Shannon, you should have kept your mouth shut. Watch as this soft-spoken prosecutor reveal the lies that you just told. You knew nothing about text messages, and you knew that their relationship was only uncle to niece. But watch as she, in this next line of question, how the prosecutor bring out that you did know. You did know.
I'm going to direct you to messages on or about June 27th of 2023. Do you recall those messages? Did you send any of those messages to Jarvis Butts?
No.
Okay. And do you know, I believe there's a phone number here that's highlighted. Whose phone number do you know that to be?
Jarvis Butts.
Okay, and you don't recall ever sending any of those messages?
No.
Okay. And now I want to direct you to messages from June 28th of 2023. How about any of these? Did you send any of these to Jarvis Butts?
No.
What about any messages from July 2nd of 2023? Did you send any of those messages?
No.
What about messages from August 26th of 2023? Did you send any of those to Jarvis Butts?
I'm sorry, was the 26?
August 26th.
No. These aren't my messages.
Now, this is how they're able to charge Shannon. She's clearly stated that she knew nothing about no text messages. This is the picture of her before all the lies. But yet, they had other text messages that you forgot about. Let's listen.
To backtrack just a little bit, on December 3rd, 2023, do you recall sending messages asking Mr. Butts if he needed Messiah for anything?
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Okay. So do you remember this text on the first page of People's Exhibit 48?
Yes, I do remember this message.
Okay. And did you send that message?
Yes.
Okay. And what did the message say?
Tada said, do you still need her to?
Okay. And do you know what is that referring to?
It was, Tada had asked me to contact Jarvis and see if he still needed them to clean up.
Okay. And that would be to clean up his shop?
Yes.
Okay. And to fast forward, on January 21st of 2024, You sent some messages to Mr. Butts, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, and can you read these last 3 messages?
These last 3 messages is, to be honest, these messages I seen into the inbox to you, I really don't know what to believe anymore. Stay away, Ramon, I mean it. The next message is, I don't know what to say, or to the is on. Since this shit doesn't sit right with me, call it what you want, I'm good, period. It says, this for life. Nigga, I thought about it, and you can pass it. And don't call me, no need to explain shit. I already see it.
Okay, so you were referencing some messages that you saw in Tada's inbox.
Correct.
Tell me, how did you see some messages? Well, first of all, where these messages, where were they at?
The day of, Officer Gardner came to pick up Nazia's tablet. My mom asked me to put it on the charger. I put it on the charger. Officer Gardner, after that, Officer Gardner called and said she's on her way.
This is hearsay.
Without saying what? Officer
Okay, I'm sorry. The officer had called and said that they was on their way to come
Still
pick up
hearsay?
the tablet.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Sustained as far as hearsay.
yes, thank you, Judge. Okay, continue.
So the tablet, before the tablet was picked up, I looked inside to this tablet. She has 2 passwords that I normally know. So one of them is referenced for her brother's birthday, and the other one is referenced for my password. So I put the first password in, it didn't work. So I put the second password in. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Butt's Instagram page. I clicked on his page, and I seen 2 messages.
You seen 2 messages. Wait a minute. Let me review your earlier testimony.
All the kids would be around.
To your knowledge, would Nazia ever text Jarvis?
From my knowledge, no, unless I will have her to text.
But to your knowledge, you didn't know of any kind of separate outside relationship?
No.
This prosecutor done tricked you, Janet. First you say, no, you don't know them to be texting each other outside of you giving her permission to texting. Then you double back and they find your text message where you did confront him saying, I see the text messages and I don't know what you and Nazia on. Only thing I could pray, you need to pray for, if they got your favorite noodles where you going. Your favorite ramen noodles where you going. Now, the reason they're able to draw up the arrest warrant is because of this next clip. I'm going to let you listen to it and see if you catch what I catch. And this is why they got the warrant for her arrest.
Did Jarvis Butts ever tell you that Nazia texted him to meet up on January 9th, 2024?
No.
Did you tell Jarvis Butts about not being able to locate Nazia on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
And tell me, how did you tell him that?
I called him. He didn't answer. I sent him a message asking him, have he seen Tuda, any whereabouts? And I said no, Tuda, and he responded back. Oh, wow.
I didn't hear what you said. The last part.
Last part, I had, I texted him. Well, at first I called him. He didn't answer. The second time, I sent him a message. Still no Tuda. He replied back, oh, wow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And
Here's the key to why they locked her up, and here's the key to her huge weight loss. Her continuous lying. Still no Tuda. Still no Tuda. If you contact someone for the first time and you want to make them aware of something, the word still would not be used, because still means that you already contacted them about this issue and there's still no change. She's saying her first contact with Jarvis Bus. Now let's go back and look at it for yourself. Listen to it yourself. Her first contact with Jarvis Bus about Naziah being missing on January 9th. She said she called, he didn't answer, she texted, still no tutor. Still no tutor means she had previously talked to him about Naziah being missing, and she was updating him, still no tutor. Still is a word that updates a person on the current situation, has not changed. But she's saying that was her first communication to him, was to ask him, have he seen Tutter? But when he didn't answer, she texts, still no Tutter. This is the words that they are using against her to make her culpable of the missing and the unlivening of Naziah Harris. You can see her quick wittiness when she asked the question, hey, Naziah was allowed to go up there by herself. No, I would always ask my mother. No, when your text messages are clear, there was only you and Jarvis conversating about did he still want her to come up there. There was no mention that, I got to ask my mother. She's quick witty on there, but the prosecutor was just a little bit quicker and was able to, because the prosecutor, since Shannon didn't know what the prosecutor had, she didn't know that her own words from her own text messages, which is called inconsistent statements, prior inconsistent statements. She didn't know that she had already made statements saying, I knew Tutter was texting him. I knew that their relationship was inappropriate. But when she got on the stand, she said, they were uncle and niece. And I knew nothing about no text messages. Them words they used against her by not charging her initially. They was able to get her on there and avoid her ever lawyering up or pleading the fifth. She could have still pled the fifth because she knew she was guilty. I can hear this young lady screaming from the heavens, get her, y'all. And we got her. And she got herself with her own mouth. This is one of the saddest stories. We still on top of it. We still undigging, but her testimony in itself is incriminating. It's incriminating her and making her culpable of the unlivening of her own niece, so-called. With her niece by blood, but not by love. Now, whether you being charged or not being charged with a crime, when you get on that stand, it's best if you know you did something to keep your mouth shut and plead the fifth. Shannon, you didn't plead the fifth. And now your own words come back to haunt you. Now, Projects and Caseríos is the only one that take you on scene. I took you to the shop, in the shop. I took you where the clothes were being found. Check out all my stories, how CPS was complicit with this thing. Check out all my stories, and you will see